If you've been struggling to set boundaries without coming across as harsh or mean, I'm about to share 5 specific phrases that protect your feminine energy while keeping your relationship intact. These aren't just no statements, they're feminine powered boundaries that actually draw the right people close to you. First, let's talk about why traditional boundary advice fails feminine women. See, most boundary advice teaches you to be harsh and defensive. No is a complete sentence doesn't necessarily work for women who want to maintain connection. Feminine energy thrives on flow and connection, not walls and barriers. Therefore, the goal isn't to push people away, it's to create space for what serves you. You can be soft and have strong boundaries. Let's talk about the difference between boundaries and barriers. Barriers are those walls that keep everyone out. They're protective, but they're also isolating. Boundaries, on the other hand, are clear limits that allow healthy connection. They don't push for disconnection. It's the connection that we want, but we want it to be healthy. Feminine boundaries communicate your needs while also honoring the relationship. They help to create safety for your soft, authentic self to emerge. For example, saying, I'm not available for that versus get away from me. It's 2 different energies and they create 2 different outcomes. So let's go over some phrases that can actually help you to have the feminine boundaries that are going to help your relationships to thrive. Phrase 1 is, I'd love to help, but I'm not available for that right now. You can use this when someone asks for something you can't or don't want to do. And this is why it works. It shows that you care while clearly stating your limit. The feminine touch to this phrase acknowledges that person's need without taking responsibility for it. One example of a great scenario to use this in is a friend asking you to help them move when you're exhausted. You care about the friend, you hope things go well for them. You just can't be involved in it. Phrase number 2, that doesn't feel good to me. Can we try a different approach? You can use this when someone's behavior or request feels just off to you. And it works because it honors your intuition, that feminine intuition that we have, without attacking the person. The feminine touch to it is it invites collaboration instead of creating conflict. A great example of a scenario to use this in is a partner making decisions without consulting you. They're doing things, they're planning things, and you want to have a say. Here's the third phrase. I need some time to think about this. I absolutely love this because it gives you a chance to pause. You can use this when you feel pressure to make an immediate decision. And it works because it creates space without you having to explain yourself, especially when you're not ready. The feminine touch to this is that it honors your need for reflection and again, tapping into your intuition. A great example of a scenario where you can use this phrase is when you're being asked to commit to something on the spot. Feminine boundary phrase number 4 is, I hear that you need X, and what I need is Y. How can we work this out? You can use this when there's a conflict between your needs and someone else's needs. And it works because it validates them while asserting your needs. The feminine touch to this is that it seeks a win-win solution instead of getting entrenched in power struggles. And a great example of a scenario to use this in is when a family member wants your time when you need rest. Often we feel obligated and we need to know how to assert and communicate our needs and our boundaries. And phrase number 5, I love this one. I'm choosing to focus my energy on X right now. You can use this when you need to redirect your time and attention. And it works because it frames your choice positively rather than as a rejection. The feminine touch is that it shows intentionality about where you place your energy. A great example of a scenario to use this in is when you are declining social events in order to focus on self-care. Now, how do you deliver these phrases with feminine power? We all know that it's not just what you say, but how you say it. Tone matters, so you have to speak calmly and warmly, but not defensively. Body language plays a big part. You want to stay relaxed and open and avoid things like crossing your arms. Your energy. If you come from a place of love for yourself and not anger at them, it makes the world of difference. And the follow through matters. Mean what you say and stick to your boundaries. Finally, practice. You can start these phrases with low stakes situations where you can build your confidence using them until they become natural. All right, ladies, which of these phrases resonates most with you? Comment below with the number of the phrase you're going to try first. And if you're finding this helpful, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps other women who need to hear this message be able to find this video. So, what are some common mistakes that sabotage feminine boundaries? One is over explaining. You do not need to justify your boundaries. The other is apologizing excessively. I'm sorry, but that actually weakens your message. Also, negotiating with boundary pushers. You know, those people that love to push the limit and see if they can get you to budge. Some people are going to test you, so you need to be okay with staying firm. Another thing that sabotages this for you is feeling guilty. Guilt is normal, but it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. You can acknowledge the feeling, sit with it, but it doesn't mean you have to change your decision or communicating your boundaries. And finally, inconsistency. Mixed messages confuse people and weaken your boundaries. Stand on business, as they say. Keep it moving, communicate clearly, and be consistent with it. So, what happens when you use feminine boundaries? There are some immediate effects. One is you feel more aligned and authentic, and that just changes your whole outlook on life. In the short term, some people may push back. This is normal, this is their reaction. You do not have to control it. In the long term, you're going to actually have healthier relationships with people who respect you. You'll feel an energy shift, meaning there's more space for what truly matters for you and to you. And there's the attraction factor, that X factor. Healthy boundaries actually make you more magnetic. People are curious about how you're just so confident and healthy in your communication. So you need to create a boundary practice plan. One is choose one phrase to practice this week. Identify one relationship where you need clearer boundaries. Start with smaller situations in order to practice and build up confidence. And notice how your body feels when you honor your limits. Finally, celebrate each time you successfully use a boundaries phrase. It is actually a win in your relationships and in your communication. So let's talk about some advanced feminine boundary techniques that you can use once you are really comfortable in this practice. One is the pause. Take a breath before responding to requests. Then there's the redirect. Instead of X, what if we tried Y? You're redirecting. Then there's the appreciation sandwich. You thank them, you state your boundary, and you express care. So the boundary is the meat in the middle. There's the broken record technique. That's where you calmly repeat your boundary if they tend to push back or don't seem like they're respecting it. And then there's the graceful exit. We all need to have this in our back pocket. You have to know when to remove yourself from toxic situations, toxic people, and toxic relationships. Let me tell you all, these feminine boundary phrases work. I want you to hear some real life boundary success stories. One is one of my coaching clients who was in my program, the Boundaries to Bliss Society. She learned to say no to family demands without guilt. I'll call her Sarah. She used to come into our live coaching calls talking about how she just could not take anything off of her plate because of the expectations that her family placed on her. We were able to unpack that, but we didn't just unpack it, we gave her the tools. She started using these phrases, she started communicating her needs softly, authentically, in a feminine power way, and her relationship with her family changed as well as letting go of the guilt that she was feeling. I can tell you myself that I've used these boundary phrases. And as a woman who's really in touch with her feminine energy, I really had to learn to protect it with boundaries. I stopped overgiving and started receiving more in my marriage, in my friendships, and in other relationships. I started using the pause frequently to give myself time to center myself and not feel like I had to react and respond right away to people. The transformation from people pleasing to magnetic authenticity is real. I've seen it in my clients, my friends, myself. These feminine boundary phrases can help you get from overwhelmed people pleaser to magnetic, authentic, attractive, and confident in just a short time. So, I have a feminine boundary challenge for you. For the next 7 days, use one of these phrases daily. Notice how people respond when you're clear but kind. Pay attention to how your energy shifts when you honor your needs. And remember, boundaries aren't selfish, they're self respect in action. If you want to go deeper with protecting your feminine energy and your boundaries, make sure you check out my book, The Boundaries to Bliss Blueprint for Women Who Are Finally Ready to Win at Love. You can get it at the link in the description. And if this video helped you to feel more confident about setting boundaries, click on the screen now to watch my video about reclaiming your femininity after trauma. Remember, your boundaries are a gift to yourself and everyone who truly loves you. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. I'm Dr. Nicole.